Just to kind of put lucid dreaming in perspective, before the mid 1970s, there was really no scientific evidence for lucid dreaming. People had mentioned it. There had been books written about lucid dreaming or conscious dreaming, but the psychological evidence just wasn't there. Also, in the religious and spiritual field, there were deep investigations into the nature of the mind, the nature of the psyche, through Buddhist dream yoga, through Sufism that use lucid dreaming, through various shamanic traditions. Even the Taoists have a secret society that's involved in lucid dreaming and also out-of-body experiences. So there'd been all this work, but no scientific evidence. So here it was in 1975, there's a gentleman, Keith Hearn, at the University of Hull in England, and he was a graduate student, and he meets a gentleman, Alan Worsley, who said he was a lucid dreamer and had lucid dreams all the time. So Keith Hearn wondered, how could you scientifically validate an inner experience like that? And so he knew that during the dream state, we normally have rapid eye movement. And you can see here in this little graph, LOC and ROC mean left ocular and right ocular. And as you kind of follow that across, you see that when a person's dreaming, their eyes are just moving every which way. And so normally they have rapid eye movement. But Keith Hearn thought, what if he brought a lucid dreamer into the sleep lab, put the REM polygraph pads on his eyes, and told him before he went to sleep, if you become lucid tonight, stop in the lucid dream as you're consciously aware and move your eyes left to right 8 times. And possibly that'll show up on the polygraph pad readout, and then we'll have scientific evidence for lucid dreaming. So that was when Keith Hearn and his subject, Alan Worsley, I think it was April 12th, 1975, Alan Worsley became lucidly aware there in the sleep lab. He remembered he was to move his eyes right to left 8 times, and that's what happened. It showed up on the REM polygraph pad information. So that ended up being called the eye signal verification for lucid dreaming. And that's been the evidence that brought lucid dreaming forward. The thing about this is that Stephen LaBerge also dreamt up the same idea for the same experiment much later, and he did it himself in his own sleep lab at Stanford. He published the information in 1980 before Keith Hearn really had published, and so he became really well known with this issue of lucid dreaming and kind of an early pioneer for all of this. So if you'll go to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit more. So the beautiful thing about lucid dreaming is that it allows for all sorts of experimental activity and evidence. Normally, when a lucid dreamer is in the sleep lab and he's doing an experiment, he or she doing an experiment, first they'd signal with their eyes that they're lucidly aware. And then they might signal with their eyes, oh, I'm beginning the experiment or whatever. But in these particular cases, the scientists just wanted to get neurological evidence of what the brain looks like when a person is lucid dreaming. And so in that top one is the study by Ursula Voss and J. Allen Hobson. They had a 19-channel EEG skull cap put on a lucid dreamer in the sleep lab. And he signaled that he was lucidly aware, and they could see how the brain activity had changed during the period of lucid awareness, and they ended up calling it a hybrid state of consciousness. So there's the graph on the side of your screen. You see at the top is the lucid dreamer wearing the skull cap, getting the EEG, the electroencephalogram data, and it shows that when he's awake, that's the top version, when he's awake, the cerebral cortex is very active. You can see all that red and yellow. It's very energized because of all the activity, because of conscious wakiness. At the bottom, it's the same person, but in a normal dream. So in a normal dream, you can see it's all blue, showing that there's little conscious activity at the level of the cerebral cortex. However, in the middle, when the person suddenly becomes lucidly aware, you can see how the cerebral cortex starts to light up, especially on the right side of the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. There's particular areas that light up quite a bit. And so this was really exciting, and that's why they called it a hybrid state of consciousness, lucid dreaming, because the cerebral cortex, the newer part of the brain, parts of it light up, while simultaneously the dreaming brain is active, and the dream brain is deeper, the more ancient part of the brain, and all. So in the next study by Dressler in 2012, they also used the EEG and had the person in an fMRI, functional magnetic resonance imager. And they had special caps around his ears so that he wouldn't wake up from all the noise of the fMRI. But this is what they captured when the person signaled that he was lucidly aware, that the areas associated with self-perception, self-assessment, and evaluating thoughts and feelings all became activated. And that provided neurological evidence that the contention of lucid dreamers is that they're aware of dreaming, they realize within the dream that they're dreaming, and they then decide what they want to do. So that's the beautiful evidence for lucid dreaming. It's well accepted in the scientific community without a doubt. But I think what's not quite as explored or talked about, and we're going to get into that, is more about the experience of lucid dreaming and how you can use it to access inner creativity and also an inner awareness.